A Punnett square is a simple chart used by biologists to predict the possible genetic outcomes for the offspring of two parents. Think of it as a probability table for genes. It shows all the possible combinations of alleles, different versions of a gene, that a child could inherit. So how does a Punnett square work? The basic idea is to figure out what gene versions each parent can pass down and then combine them in every possible way. To do this, you need to know a few key terms. First is genotype, which is the actual genetic code represented by letters, for example, two uppercase B's, an uppercase B, and a lowercase, or two lowercase b's. The phenotype is the physical trait that is expressed, for example, brown eyes or blue eyes. We also have to understand that there is what's known as a dominant allele, which is a trait that will show up if even one copy is present. It's represented by a capital letter, e.g. uppercase B for brown eyes. Then there is the recessive allele, which is a trait that only shows up if two copies are present. It's represented by a lowercase letter, for example, the lowercase b for blue eyes. Let's work through a classic, though simplified, example of eye color where brown eyes, uppercase B, are dominant over blue eyes, lowercase b. Here's the scenario. One parent has brown eyes with a heterozygous genotype, so hetero means different, and if it's different, we have to put an uppercase B for brown eyes and a lowercase b for blue eyes, meaning they carry both a dominant and a recessive allele. Remember, each parent would have gotten one trait from grandma, maybe the brown eye trait, and one trait from grandpa, maybe the blue eye trait. Which one shows, in this case, the brown eyes? We say it's the dominant trait. The same premise holds for the other parent who has blue eyes. This means their genotype must be homozygous recessive, because homo means same, so we would expect to see two lowercase b's here. To determine the probability of the offsprings having particular trait is not difficult if you know how the secret. Here it is. Each parent will pass on one trait to each offspring. That means each offspring will have two traits, one from mom and one from dad. We use the Punnett square to calculate those probabilities. To complete a Punnett square, you should simply draw a large square. Then, either to the left side of the top section, draw a line where you will place the alleles from each parent. It doesn't matter where you start. Wherever you begin, move to the second space and draw another line for the next parent. Inside the square, you will place lines that separate the traits. One line will separate the two traits of the first parent, and another will separate the two traits of the second parent. Once you have done this, you are ready to calculate the probability of the offspring inheriting a particular trait. For example, let's start with the dominant allele B for brown eyes and place it in the first square space. Then we take the recessive allele B for blue eyes from the second parent and place it in the same square. In essence, each offspring receives one trait from parent 1 and one trait from parent 2. So for the first offspring, we take one allele from each parent. For the second offspring, we take the second allele from parent 1 and the first allele from parent 2. For the third offspring, we take the dominant allele from parent 2 and the recessive allele from parent 1. Finally, for the fourth offspring, we take the recessive allele from both parents and combine them. It's important to note that this does not mean the first offspring will definitely have brown eyes, the second will definitely have blue eyes, and so on. Instead, what we are seeing is the probability. In this case, there's a 50% chance of having brown eyes and a 50% chance of having blue eyes. This means that each time an offspring is conceived, there is a 50-50 chance of brown or blue eyes. It is possible by chance that all offspring could be born with blue eyes, or all could be born with brown eyes, although that is unlikely.